Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin. Today's video we are going to be talking about books, but more specifically books that made me cry and that will hopefully make you guys shed a tear or two. But before we get into the video, I want you guys to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up, and I will really appreciate it. And while you're at it, go ahead and comment down below any book suggestions that you guys have. I'm always taking book suggestions and book recommendations. All the books that I'm going to share with you guys today have literally been recommended to me, so go ahead and drop some down below. Side note, I really love fantasy and romance, so if you have any of those, leave them down below in the comments. The first book I have to share with you guys is Swirl in This Life by Renee Carlino, and this book right here, my god, I am speechless whenever I try to talk about this book to people because there's really not much I can say. I read this entire book in one sitting, which never happened. I was up to like 7 a.m. trying to finish this book because I was like, I need to know what happens with the story. I need to know how it ends. Are they going to be together? Are they not going to be together? Like, I need to know, and I was not going to let sleep get in the way of that. So the story follows Emmeline. She's a writer. She's having writer's block, and then one day her best friend and her roommate brings home a best-selling novel for her to read, and while Emmeline begins to read the novel, she quickly realizes that the book is about her childhood and the trauma and baggage and just all of the experiences that are very personal that she went through. But that is not it. She comes to find out that the book is written by Jace, who is in fact her best friend and first love that shared all of those moments with her and experienced them alongside of her. Jace and Emmeline haven't spoken in years. They didn't leave on the best foot, so you can only imagine how she feels not only about the book being released, but also about the person who wrote it. What is so cool about this book is that you get two books in one, because while you are reading, Swirl in This Life, and you're reading Emmeline, discovering this book and everything like that, you're also reading the book itself. So just as she's reading the book, you get to read the book too. And the book that Jace wrote is so freaking good and so sad. There are chapters dedicated to it, and I just remember sitting up and in my bed just bawling my eyes out because the things that these kids go through is so heartbreaking. We also get to learn about her relationship with Jace and everything that they went through. I just completely love the way that Jace's book is incorporated into this book. Without giving too much away, one of my favorite parts in this book, which is also one of the most heartbreaking parts in this book, is it's a part of Jace's book and it's the ending of his book. So if you do get a chance to read Swirl in This Life, make sure you do. It's an amazing book and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. The next book I have to share with you guys is absolutely everything. It is Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone. And I want everyone to stop right now, go on Amazon, add this book to your cart, go to your library, go to your library's website, go ahead and place your loan to borrow the book. I don't care how you get this book, but you need to get it. Everyone needs to read this book. This book right here, it's everything. You just need to find a way to get your hands on this book. Every Last Word follows our main character, Every Last Word follows our main character, Samantha McAllister, who is a junior in high school and has OCD. She meets a girl at school called Caroline, and she introduces her to the Poets Corner, which is a group of kids, misfits if you want to call them, who have found comfort in each other through their experiences and love for poetry. This changes absolutely everything for Sam, and she finds herself breaking out of her shell and finally embracing all that she is. She kind of lives a double life in a way because she has her old friends, but then she's meeting all these new people and she's really becoming herself and becoming more and more who she really wants to be, and she kind of lives this double life trying to balance it and navigate both of it. I cannot begin to tell you how incredible this story is. I don't even know where to start with it. I really wish I had something like this to read when I was in high school. I didn't read this until maybe my sophomore or freshman year of college, but I related so hard to Samantha and her stories, especially because she dealt a lot with not being able to really fit in, especially with her group of friends in the beginning, and I completely feel her. Also, if you ever hear anyone talking about this book, they always mention this really big plot twist. It is a huge plot twist. It really changes a lot of things in the book for me, and it made a lot of things more surreal. Every Last Word is an amazing read, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it if you want to cry. The third book I have for you guys, I don't actually have the physical copy because when you lend someone your book and they just never give it back. That's exactly what happened. So I don't have it, but I'm sure you know exactly the book I'm going to mention. Everybody has this book whenever they have like they're recommending romances or they're recommending books that made you cry. It's all over TikTok. There is no way I can talk about romance without talking about my queen, Colleen Hoover. I feel like everybody has heard this book I'm about to mention, as they should. It Ends With Us is amazing. If you haven't heard of this book, I don't know who hasn't at this point. If you want a good cry, if you want a good romance, Colleen Hoover is your girl. If you have no idea what I'm talking about and you're like, what is this book, It Ends With Us? Who is Colleen Hoover? Let me put you on. It Ends With Us follows our main character, Lily Bloom, as she navigates her current relationship with her present boyfriend and a past relationship with her first boyfriend, first love type of deal. The story is heavy. It's heartbreaking, but it's so important and it's beautifully written. Colleen Hoover does not stray away from talking about really sensitive topics, and that's one of the reasons why I love her so much as an author. It's hard to describe what this book really is about without giving too much away. I did not go into this book knowing much, and I think that if you really want to get a really good experience reading this book, you shouldn't go into this book knowing much about it either. I will leave on the screen a trigger warning for this novel because again, it does deal with some sensitive topics. I cannot recommend this book enough though. I posted a Snapchat story to my friends after I read this book, even though I know none of them read, but I posted the Snapchat story begging everybody to read this book because it was just too good for me not to share it with other people. And great news actually, one of my favorite people in the entire world, Justin Baldoni, is going to be directing the movie adaptation of It Ends With Us, and I cannot wait for that to happen. I know that that will finish me. I will be dead by the time that movie comes out. If you don't know, Justin Baldoni is the director of Clouds and 5 Feet Apart, and if you've if you've watched those movies, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This man will make you cry, and I know that him and Colleen Hoover together, working together, I'm finished. I'm deceased. I'm done. I'm just noticing that I have my arm fat just like sitting there, but I feel like this looks really weird, but I don't want... Whatever. It's getting too hot. The hair has to go up. The hair has to go up. It's just too hot. Our AC's broken. Trying to get through this video is getting real rough. Okay, I'm trying to not pass out, but I'm also trying to get through it. The next book we have is All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. I know, another Colleen Hoover book, but Colleen Hoover is literally my queen. I don't care what anybody has to say. Homegirl knows how to write a book. Homegirl knows how to write a book that's gonna make you bawl your eyes out, and All Your Perfects did just that. So here we have the story of a couple whose marriage is literally falling apart as we speak. It is hanging on very loosely. It feels like there's no hope. And as the story progresses and we learn more about them, we learn more about their relationship, we soon uncover the cause of their broken marriage and why everything seems to be falling apart. But as we find the cause and root of their troubled relationship and we see their relationship go downhill, we also see their relationship blossom and grow, and we learn about how they even fell in love and how they even got married, and the relationship becomes something super beautiful. Colleen Hoover does an incredible yet heartbreaking thing by paralleling these chapters together. One chapter will be about the couple fighting, them arguing, relationship going downhill, spiraling out of control, and then the following chapter will be about them falling in love, getting to know each other, growing together, growing closer, how they got married and everything like that. The story is told in both past and present tense, which is absolutely beautiful, but because they're just alternating back and forth, it's like 1 second I'm like, oh my god, yay, they're getting closer together, this is so beautiful, and then the next second I'm like, oh my god, no, what are you doing? Everything's falling apart. But it's so amazing because you really get to see how something so beautiful can turn out so bad at the end. But it's technically not the end. I will leave a trigger warning on the screen right now because this book also talks about some sensitive topics. All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover is amazing. It's fantastic. If you really want to cry really hard, please read this book. This book and It Ends With Us together, power. The power that those two books have over me and my tears and my emotions. Last, but certainly not least, and I'm getting so excited to talk about this book because I honestly jump at every opportunity to talk about this book that I'm about to share with you guys, and that is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I saved this book for last for a multitude of different reasons, but the two biggest reasons being this is the book that got me into reading romance in the first place, and this is also the very first book I really ever cried like really hard to. This book has a special place in my heart that no one is coming near. Like nobody is touching this relationship we have going on, okay? I read this book as a junior in high school. I stayed up till 3 a.m. reading it. I remember flipping over to a certain page and reading it and having the book laying open on my bed and just like hysterically crying. Not even just I was wailing at this point. Like, it felt like somebody had murdered someone very close to me, or like a dog or something. I don't want to be dramatic or anything, but I feel like this book changed my life, and I feel like it has impacted me more than any other book I've read in my entire reading existence and experience. Like, this book is everything to me, and I hope that if you ever get a chance to read it, you get to enjoy it just as much as I did. This book is more than just a romance book. It's more than just a love story. It's a book of self-discovery and self-confidence and what it really means to go after what you want and believe in yourself again. Let me tell you what this book is about. Me Before You follows our main character, Lou, who's an everyday girl in a small town in England, and she recently just lost her job. She lands a new job as a caretaker to Will Trainer, a man who was in a motorcycle accident that now caused him to be paralyzed. The two do not get along at first. I wouldn't necessarily call it this is like a enemies to lovers, but kind of. The two do not get along with each other at all in the beginning, but obviously as the story progresses, you get to see their relationship grow and progress as well into something very special and very intimate. However, there is a conflict, there is a plot spinner, there is a plot turner, there is a huge conflict that I think you know about it in the beginning of the book. I'm not entirely sure, but there's a huge conflict. It impacts the lives of every single person in this book, all the characters, not just Will and Lou, every single character in this book. It is just too good for me to say more. So hopefully that was convincing for you to read. This book is not a standalone. It's actually part of a trilogy. I have yet to read the next book in the series. I refuse to. I cannot. I have the second book, but there is no part of me that wants to read it. I bought it thinking I could do it. I touched the book, ready to turn to the first page, and I was like, no. So there's a movie adaptation of this book, and of course I watched it. Of course I was crying my eyes out in the theaters. Everybody was looking at me like I was crazy. I don't care. Having a visual representation of what happened in this book made the whole thing more real, made it more worse in a way, because now I know exactly what it looks like, what those scenes look like. Emilia Clarke and Sam Claflin were the leads in the movie, and they did a fantastic job. I could not imagine anyone better to play those roles. If anything, the movie just made me love the book even more. I have the movie on DVD too. I bought it. I sure did. All of that being said, please, please, please read this book. This book will truly change your life. If not your life, because that is also kind of dramatic, it will change your perspective on things. And that's really all that these books can do, is really just change our perspective on how we see certain situations and help us grow and learn. Those are all the books I have to share with you guys. Each and every one of these books mean so much to me. They have a very special place in my heart. And I hope that if you guys get the chance to read any of these books, that they will also be as impactful and you will love them just as much as I did. Hopefully they make you cry. I feel like you can't read all of these books and not have at least one of them make you cry, even if it's just like a little tear coming down your face. I can't shake the way that these books make me feel. To this day, I still get chills, I still get butterflies. I'm surprised I didn't cry while talking about any of these books. It's too hot to cry. Maybe that's why I'm like sweating my ass off right now. I also want to point out that none of these books are perfect, so if you don't like any of these books, don't feel bad or don't feel like anything's wrong with you. There are some books out there that people have recommended that they're gonna make me cry, I'm gonna love. I read it and I'm like, this isn't. But the world of books is big and vast that it can take everybody's opinions, and this is just mine. That is the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as well as comment down below any book recommendations that you guys have for me. Again, I really hope that you guys were able to add some of these books to your list. I'm hoping to add more books to this list and then in the future hopefully do a updated video. Thank you guys again for watching this video. I will see you in my next video. Bye!